So welcome to today's Pain Point webinar series. As we do with the Pain Point webinars, we dive into common business challenges that businesses face when creating quotes and proposals. And today's Pain Point topic is struggling to get an aggregate overview of your sales performance. We know your time is valuable, so these are fairly short webinars, typically around 30 minutes or so. We want you to be able to apply these solutions as quickly and as easily as your quoting process is, or if you're not using QuoteWerks yet, what it will be. With every webinar, we have a set agenda where we go over the pain point or pain points that we are being faced today with, and we go through the solution that is provided through the QuoteWerks product. We then go through a live demo as to how to apply those solutions, and then we also have a Q&A. Now, with that being said, we are in GoToMeeting today, so if you have any questions throughout the course of the webinar, feel free to put them in the questions box up there in the top right corner with the question mark there, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. Now, if I'm unable to answer a question today, we do have other means in which you can get in contact with us. In particular, we've got community@QuoteWerks.com. So if we get to the end of today and I haven't answered a question that you have, or if there's something that comes up after the course of the webinar, feel free to send us an email there. Now, with that being said, the webinars are also recorded, so you'll be getting a recording of the webinar within 24 to 48 hours of today. And with that being said, we also have our different social accounts here: Facebook, LinkedIn, X, YouTube. Certainly suggest that you get over there and subscribe to those, as we always have different helpful information on those sites, and are happy to share those with you when they become available. Now, moving into our pain point. Again, in today's quick webinar, we'll be covering the pain point of struggling to get an aggregate view of your sales performance. Some of those challenges are being unable to see sales metrics without having to build a report, unable to see what quotes are open, won, or closed easily, wanting to compare sales reps to sales reps' performance, or unsure of what needs to be addressed without having to search for this information. And the question again becomes, how can QuoteWerks help to alleviate those solutions? And one of those solutions that we'll be talking about today is QuoteValet Insight. Now, QuoteValet Insight gives you the insight and visibility into your sales activities from a web device like your phone, tablet, or PC. QuoteValet Insight gives users insight into the progress of their company's documents that have been uploaded to QuoteValet anytime, anywhere, which streamlines communication and simplifies sales management by bringing both high-level and detailed data to you in a format that's easy to review and collaborate on. Now, I do want to note that QuoteValet Insight is included with the QuoteValet subscription. So if you have QuoteValet, you can access this right now. If you don't have QuoteValet, we are happy to provide a 30-day trial. Just send an email over to sales@QuoteWerks.com and we can assist you. Now, within QuoteValet Insights, there are many different dashboards and information that you can view. We'll be reviewing all of those as we get into our demo. In particular, the executive dashboard gives you major visibility over quoting and sales processes across the board from all sales reps. So you can view top dollar quotes and converted orders, number of quotes sent, accepted and paid, sales rep and customer comments, number of customer views on documents, and a whole of a lot more. So we'll be reviewing that again during our demo. My summary the executive dashboard is also another place that gives you major visibility, as we just discussed, to your sales teams. My summary is similar to the executive summary, but it shows only information relating to the current logged in user, so typically used by a sales rep or a group of sales reps. And then the status board provides priority notifications, like when an expired quote is viewed, customer questions are posted, quote is accepted, or payment is provided. It also displays a notification count for each sales rep, making sure that the team knows that all notifications have been processed. Now, the status board itself is best viewed on a large monitor. It is updated every 60 seconds. And the leaderboard is a rotating panel displaying the top 10 accepted and outstanding quotes for the week, month, and year. And there's a lot more to QuoteValet Insight, so I'll show you more in the demo. Now, along with QuoteValet Insight, we also have the QuoteValet Dashboard, which is a great place to view sales activities for yourself or your whole team. It's designed to help you stay on top of all of your pending quotes by providing one place to see all the new notifications. The inbox tab only has new notifications, giving you flexibility to see all important notifications in one place. And QuoteValet Insight can be easily launched from the QuoteValet dashboard, again, as we'll show you in just a moment here. So I am going to begin our demo today in QuoteWerks desktop. But that being said, I can certainly toggle over to QuoteWerks web as well if we need to. One thing I want to just point out is here we're in desktop and I'm currently logged in, as you can see on the bottom right of our window here, as Joe Sales. So we'll be simulating a sales rep, and we'll go through and simulate someone with executive privileges as well in just a little bit. So there's two different ways that we could get to our QuoteValet dashboard. The first one is just by going on the icon here, the dashboard icon on the standard toolbar. The other one is to go over to View and go to QuoteValet Dashboard. So either one of those is going to bring you to the same page, and that page is this one here. And this is the My Summary dashboard. So you can see the My Summary dashboard is going to show a couple of different things. Now, Joe himself does not have a ton of different things in his hopper, if you will, but we can see that this month that he's sent out 2 quotes. He has none expiring within the next 7 days, and there are no notifications over as well. We also notice that we have a nice toggle option here on the left where we can go and click into any of the recent documents that Joe Sales has created. So quick and easy way to get into your quotes and get an aggregate view of how many quotes have been sent out in the last month, this month, and 2 months ago. So this is a high-level view. This is specific to Joe Sales. If we wanted, we could come over into Opportunities. And Opportunities is going to let us drill down a lot deeper into particularly Joe Sales sales. So here we've got the ability to choose our rep. Now, because Joe is a sales rep and has specific rights that have been set for him, he's only able to see his, but he could, if we wanted to, have him be able to see other reps as well. Now, what's really cool about this opportunity dashboard is not only are you going to see the forecast over here, which shows you all of your open quotes, but it's also going to show the quota. So if you have a commission set up for this particular sales rep, it'll show it here. And then over on the right, it's going to show you some high-level information as to the top 5 closed won orders, the top 5 open quotes, lost opportunities, top products that were won by quantity amount and then by dollar amount. So this page here gives you the ability to see that high-level information, but then you can also drill down much further into it, as you can see, searching by a particular range. And the default's going to be today and yesterday for our sales reps, but we can change that if we want. And then we can also come in and search for specific fields. So you can see we've got a ton of different fields here that are pulling from the QuoteWerks system, and we could search based on those particular fields if we want to try and find a particular document. That's just one of the ways that you have utilizing QuoteValet and QuoteValet Dashboard to find a particular document. You'll see how in QuoteValet Insights, we're also able to go in and pull in some additional information and query different quotes as well. Now, the QuoteValet tab here is also a really great tool in that the QuoteValet tab is going to show you all of your quotes, whether they're open, expired, accepted, or paid. And you can also toggle on the activity for those quotes as well. So when we talk about QuoteValet, we're talking about an interactive web page that users can view their quotes on and interact with if they want to, say, change quantities or change different options. All of that activity is going to be listed here in this particular section. Now, if we look over on the left, there's a couple things to point out. Now, again, there's not much information here for Joe, but we will look at another dashboard that has some more information. I just want to point out the fact that there's some really cool icons over here on the left-hand side that give us some insight into, where the document is in the process. So if you see these little binocular icon, that's going to indicate that the customer's viewed the quote. And you've got this little question mark icon that's going to indicate that the customer has also asked a question. So in a scenario like this, let's say Joe Sales is coming to look at his dashboard and just trying to see what's going on. It looks like this customer here viewed the document at 10 o'clock this morning, and they also posted a comment. Well, you might want to actually go in and see what that comment is, and you can do that by clicking on More and clicking on View Customer Web Page. or customer facing page, excuse me. And this is actually going to show you a representation of what the customer would see. Now, one of the great things about QuoteValet is, in addition to providing interactive quotes to your customers, it also gives you the ability to do peer reviews and document approvals. And it also gives those customers the ability to interact with you in different ways. So for any of you that may not have seen a QuoteValet webpage before, you'll see we've got our logo, we've got our company information, we've got a prepared for or prepared by, we've got all of our different products here as well. And then towards the bottom, we have our payment options, the acceptance area, and then we also have, again, those areas where the customer can interact with us. And if we go back into our dashboard, we can see that our customer has asked a question. So we can easily come down to the bottom of this document, and we see here that Ryan has posted, do I need the posts? I believe we have some in stock. Gives you the ability to very quickly and easily, in the context of the quote, be able to understand what is the customer asking with the quote open and being able to respond directly to them as well. Now, if you did want to interact with the customer here within the quote, you could easily do so, and the customer is going to get an email anytime you do that. In this case, and this could be anything, right? But it's the ability to communicate with your customer directly through the interface, right? Really cool stuff. And the QuoteValet Dashboard gives you the ability to understand when there is actually a comment waiting for you. So this is going to bring all of the most recent activity to the top. And you can see here you can view the information, the document on QuoteValet like we just did. And if you did want, you could also dismiss it as well. So in this case, we've already reviewed the customer comment. We've responded to it. We'd easily hit dismiss, and this is going to be removed from our inbox. So quickly and easily able to pull out things that have already been addressed. And this is great from a sales rep perspective because it fits into their general workflow. Now, in addition to the inbox, we also have this reporting tab here. Now, again, Joe does not have much information stored in his profile, so we're going to look at this in a little bit more detail when we log into a different profile. But just know that on this reporting tab, you can come in and choose a source. There's a number of different sources, QuoteWerks, QuoteValet, QuoteValet Mobile, QuoteValet Order Form, QuoteValet Mobile Templates, and QuoteValet Order Form Templates. And then we can see what type of activity there has been as well. So a great opportunity here would be, let's say that you're just coming in and you want to see what customers have not yet viewed their quotes. You could easily come in and say not viewed yet and see what customers have not viewed the quotes, and maybe that'd be a great opportunity for you then follow up with them and let them know that they have a quote waiting for them. Additionally, another one would be expiring. So if you've got quotes that are coming up to expiration, a great opportunity for that sales rep to then reach out and figure out if that customer is ready to move forward or if the expiration needs to be extended for whatever reason. So again, we're going to come back to this in a little bit to look with some more populated data, but I just wanted to point out that it's here. And then we also have our payments tab here. Now, this is going to be only populated if you're accepting payments through QuoteValet. And again, something that we'll look at a little bit more in the other profile that we're going to take a look at once we're done looking at Joe's sales. So that's the inbox, that's the reporting, and that's the payment section of QuoteValet Dashboard. In addition to QuoteValet Dashboard, as we discussed, we also have QuoteValet Insight. And QuoteValet Insight can be accessed by clicking this button here, the Launch QuoteValet Insight button. Now just bear with me for one quick moment. Pull over my browser. Now you'll see that we had our browser open up. You may or may not be prompted to put in your login information, in which case it's just going to be your tenant ID, your login, and your password. And you're going to get brought to this login screen, or this dashboard, if you will. This splash page is basically just a place that you land on when you come here. But what we're most concerned with are going to be the options across the top of the window. Now, first one, just going to bring you back to this page. Mobile is going to give you the ability to log into QuoteValet Mobile if you're using QuoteValet Mobile. Dashboard is going to give you a number of different options here for different ways in which you can view either activity or different reporting on the quotes that you have outstanding, as well as peer reviews and approvals. We have find here as well, which is a way to search documents. So let's say that, for example, you knew that you had a quote out there for a rack deployment, but you weren't sure exactly what customer it was or what the document number is. You can come in here and search, let's say, the doc name, assuming that you put that in the doc name, and you can query your different quotes to find that particular quote. As you can see here, you can search by doc number if you have that, and you also have the ability to search by sold to company as well. We'll just show you if we were to search by Computer Hut and hit find. We've got many more here for Computer Hut as well, with many of those having been expired. So that's the find and mobile option, but I really want to dig into the dashboard here because that's where we're going to get into a lot more information. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the inbox to begin. And the inbox is very similar to what we saw before in that it's going to have the most recent activities up top. And you'll see that Joe, being a sales rep, only has the ability to see his particular information. We're not able to go in and actually choose individual sales reps other than Joe. That's going to be different if you're looking at it from an executive or admin perspective. Now this page, like I said, very similar to the other in that it has different icons that's going to indicate where we stand in terms of the customer interacting with the quote and or accepting the quote. And then we have all these different buttons down here that give us the ability to look at the customer facing page, look at the sales rep facing page, send a note to the customer. We can also view the activity history to see where they stand. And if we wanted, we can even open that quote here directly in QuoteWerks as well. So that's the inbox. I'm not going to get too much into peer reviews and approvals, but know that if you are working with QuoteValet, it does include peer reviews and approvals. Peer reviews give you the ability to send a quote to a peer, have them review it and provide feedback, whereas a document approval or approval process is a little bit different in that that individual actually has to provide their stamp of approval before you can actually send it to the customer. So in this case, this is a peer review. This is basically an individual saying that they needed a peer, Joe Sales, to review their document. And if we wanted, we could review down here and put in our peer review notes. Also on the dashboard, as I alluded to, is our approvals. And it looks like Joe doesn't have any approvals pending right now, but I think we do on our other profiles. So we'll show you those in a minute. But this would just be an outline of the approvals that are pending for him. And this is secondary to the emails that Joe would receive when one of these requests come in, either for a peer review or document approval. Also here on the dashboard is the My Summary. So this is actually a really cool view that shows you, again, just today and yesterday, but that can be changed if you want for the individual sales rep. It's going to show you the number of quotes sent, accepted, paid, top quotes, top orders, customer views, customer comments, and sales reps comments as well. So in this instance, again, very easily we can click on quotes sent and toggle to those. We can view customer views, toggle to those, and likewise customer comments. And we could just go in and look at the sales rep facing page and see that this particular response does in fact have a comment. So a very quick and easy way to stay on top of your customers' inquiries and your customers' activities within quotes. Now, one last thing here in the dashboard is the Document Explorer, and this just gives you the ability to drill down a little bit more into the different documents that are associated with this user. So for example, we can query by quotes and orders. We can do today or yesterday. We can change the sales rep if we have permissions to do so, and we can sort them by these different options here as well. So as you can see, QuoteValet Insights is an extension of QuoteValet. It's also an extension of the dashboard and really gives you the ability to see a lot of different information across the board as it relates to your customer and their interactions with quotes, as well as your interactions with internal members utilizing peer reviews and document approvals. Now, what I do want to do here is to show you also, as I mentioned earlier, what it would look like for someone else to come in and look at this dashboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to log out here, and we're going to log in as someone with master rights. So we're going to log in as the administrator. And you'll see everything looks very similar. What you'll see though, however, is that on the dashboard, we've got a couple different options that are available. In particular, that status board has now become available. And if we go to the inbox, you'll notice that it's going to have an option for all of our different users. So now we're not just looking at Joe Sales, but we're looking at all of the users' activities. Now, important to point out here is that we've got this orange box over here. It's going to indicate that's been accepted. Gray boxes are going to indicate that they've been opened but have not been executed on. And if there were green ones, that means they've been paid as well. And you can see here on our dashboard, we also have the last activity as well. Now, we did talk about the status board, which is a really great option. We actually have one up on a monitor in our sales cube where you can actually go through and just get, as I discussed earlier, a high-level overview of the top sales that have been coming in, top accepted orders, and then a quick breakdown of what's going on today, as well as the inbox as well. Now, if we go back over to, let's say, my summary here, you'll see that this is a little bit different in that we have the ability to query really any period of time here if we want to. I'm just going to go ahead and say this month, and you'll see that because we're logged in as the administrator, Josh Lockheed, myself, that we have a lot more activity going on here. And you can see we've got the number of quotes sent, quotes accepted, quotes paid. We have the customer views and the customer comments as well. So a lot of different information here, all available to you in the click of a button. And another thing to mention is that QuoteValet Insights as well as QuoteValet Dashboard are two things that are web-based. So your team can be on the road, they can be on a laptop, they can be on a tablet, and very easily and quickly come in, see what the high-level numbers are, and also provide their approvals or peer reviews as per the queues that we have over here. So a lot of different options. And then this admin here is another tab that we haven't seen. Usage monitor comes with admin, and this is just going to give you the ability to see all of the different activity that you have within QuoteValet, either by yourself or other sales reps. So you can see we have activity listed here by administrator, Joe Sales, and that is all listed here. So if we wanted to kind of get a sense as to who's using it, what are they doing, all we need to do is come in and figure out what time frame we want, what rep we want, and what activity type we want as well. So very simple and easy to use. Now, I just want to point out that there are some access rights that we have in QuoteWerks where you can actually change the way that QuoteValet Dashboard or QuoteValet Insights might be available to a sales rep. And the way that you would do that is by coming into QuoteWerks, going to Utilities and User Maintenance. But I'm actually logged in as Joe Sales yet, so as you can see, it's grayed out for me based on my access rights. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come over to File and log in as another user. So bear with me here for a moment while I do that. All right, so now I'm going to log in as my administrator. Bear with me, I actually need to go and click back into that. There we go. All right, so now we're logged in as the administrator who has master rights. Just like we did before, if we wanted, we could click on the dashboard here, or we could click on the QuoteValet icon and get to QuoteValet Insight. But as I mentioned before, what we really want to look at now is going to be the different rights that we have available in order to be able to see things. So as you can see, we very quickly got into the QuoteValet dashboard. We could very quickly launch QuoteValet Insight here as well. But what we want to show here is utilities, user maintenance, and how you can make it so that a user can see or cannot see those different assets, and ultimately how they can interact with it. So we're going to choose Joe Sales. We're going to hit edit. And over here on the access tab, what we want to do is we just want to type in QuoteValet Insight. We're just typing QuoteValet, actually. You can see all the different access rights that are associated with QuoteValet. And you'll notice that we have different options here for QuoteValet Insight. So cannot use QuoteValet Insight. If we wanted to keep Joe Sales completely out of QuoteValet Insight, we can certainly do that. If we wanted to give him the ability to use the executive summary, even though he's not an executive, we could do that by choosing the can use. And there's all of these different options here that are available. One thing that, or a couple things that you might want to take a look at is just like the date ranges. So you'll see can see date range this week, last week, this month, 2 months, so on and so forth. So if you want your sales reps to have some more historical data and not just today and yesterday, that's a good way to do it. And then you also have the ability to control whether or not they see the totals in QuoteValet Executive Summary as well. So a lot of cool information here, different ways that you can change the way that things are going to display for the user based on their access rights. So that's QuoteValet Insight, QuoteValet Dashboard, as well as access rights. That really kind of sums things up as it relates to what we wanted to review today. That being said, I'm just taking a look to see if there's any questions. I haven't seen any yet, but feel free to pop them in there while we're finishing up here. So just as a reminder, I'll be sending out a recording of the webinar to everyone that attended or registered. So keep an eye out for that, and feel free to share the recording with those individuals as well. You can also subscribe to our YouTube page and then get notified anytime our new videos come out as well. And also want to just mention the fact that we pride ourselves on great support and other resources. So certainly feel free to reach out to our support team if you have any questions or want to learn something more about the system. And then from a sales perspective, again, if you're not using QuoteValet yet and you want to take a quick tour of it, reach out to the sales team. They can either do a demo or set you up with maybe a free trial as well. And in addition to the people that we have here, our support team, our sales team, we also have a ton of other resources like our videos, our help documentation, our live and recording webinars like this one today, our services, as well as your ability to contact the team. So I'll just mention one last time that if you do have any questions that come up after the webinar that you'd like to ask, community@QuoteWerks.com would be the place to ask them. Otherwise, we've got the support and sales emails here. So with that being said, I haven't seen any questions come in, and we're just about at the half of the hour. So I want to thank everyone for their time and hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.